Hey y'all, today I'm gonna make chicken and dumplings, and I've already boiled my chicken. I'll bring you over here and let you see it. I used some chicken thighs. They make good chicken broth, so that's what I used. My pot over here, still kind of hot. Yeah, but I just used a package of chicken thighs, and they are hot. And I'm gonna let them cool down, and then I'm gonna debone them. And I'm gonna save all this juice because this is my chicken broth I'm gonna cook my dumplings in. I'm gonna have to add to it, but anyway, I'm gonna save this. This is good and rich. I was gonna show you this chicken that I'm deboning. Let me get my camera down. You can see it. But let's see, let's get another piece. It's got this skin on it, and I just take the skin off. It just peels right off. I put this in the refrigerator to let it cool, so I could actually hold it. Make sure you got clean hands. And then when you get the skin off, and any fat you want off, it just comes right off. You just take the bone, and it just peels right off the bone. Just like, I mean, it's so easy, y'all. Just cook it, boil your chicken till it's done, and then put it in the refrigerator and let it get cool enough to handle. And then you can just peel it right off the bone, and just putting those scraps over there. It's the fat. Yeah, it just peels right off. It's really not much to it. I put my chicken on the stove, and then I went out and helped my husband for a little while. And then, yeah, and then when it was done, I just put the lid on it and set it on the back of the stove till I was ready to come in and work on it. I live by a Air Force base, not super close, but close enough, and they are having bombing drills today, so I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but every now and then I hear a bomb go off. I live close to a veterans museum, and they have Civil War reenactments here. And it's maybe a block from my house, so it's kind of funny because when we moved back here in the same house, we were working outside. We hadn't been back a week or so, and we heard bomb-like noise, and it was the cannons going off. So we didn't know what in the world it was. Funny. You can feel what's meat and what's not. It feels different. Okay. And then I'm just going to tear it up in bite-sized pieces. You could put this in the mixer and shred it up, but I want it a little bit bigger. My husband likes to know there's chicken in there. So I'll just tear it up like in bite-sized pieces. Dark meat, I think, has a little more protein than white meat. Most of the time I'll get the chicken breast if we're grilling or doing something, but if I'm gonna make dumplings or chicken soup or something, I'll get some thighs. And it is a lot cheaper. Thighs are a lot cheaper than, or legs. Legs are good. All right, looks like it's all tore up pretty good. All right, it's ready to go back in the broth, but we're gonna make our dumplings real quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, y'all. I had I did not have my light on when I was doing the chicken. I should have had the light on. I'm not used to it. My son and daughter-in-law got me this nice tripod with the light, and I'm not used to using it. But right now we're gonna do the dumplings, and I do have my broth. In my broth, you know, the chicken juice, the water that I boiled my chicken in, it's in there. But, and I strained out any fat or anything that was floating around in there. And I did add 2 boxes of chicken broth to it. These are 32-ounce boxes. And then I added 2 cans of creamy chicken soup to it. Just because I didn't have enough water. And in this bowl, let me get you turned down. In this bowl, we are going to add, it's got just regular flour. You could use self-rising flour, but we like our dumplings kind of flat. So I'm not gonna use self-rising flour. And I'm gonna use shortening. You can use, you could probably use butter or whatever, any kind of fat you wanna use, but we're gonna use shortening. That's a little too much shortening. Okay. And it's just a big old glob of shortening. It's in the palm of my hand. So anyway, we're gonna put it in the middle of this flour. Kind of work it around a little bit. Just kind of working the flour into it. And then I got buttermilk. It's the end of the buttermilk, but I'm gonna add some buttermilk. That was probably 1/2 cup. Might have to add more. Just gonna squish it around in there. I know y'all can't see very good, sorry. But you just squish it around your fat to mix it with the flour. I'm just gonna add the rest of that. And the buttermilk. Just getting it put, it's not sticky, it forms a dough. All right, now I'm gonna take some flour. Just take what I have in here. I'm gonna put it on my, I'm going to take my dough. Put on the flour board. I'm just got all the dough off my hands. My daughter was supposed to come home today from college, but I've not seen or heard from her, and it's almost 2 o'clock, so who knows? She's still at college. So. I love how you can track people now, don't you? Your kids. My older kids, I didn't do that. I just sat home and worried about them. And you just roll it out real thin. Make sure it's not sticking to your counter like mine is. Don't want it to be sticking. Wish I had an island or a bar. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. The last house we lived in had a big old bar. Well, it wasn't real big, but it was big enough. And it was perfect for rolling out dumplings and pie dough. It was really nice. It was an old house. It was 100 years old. I loved it. A little bitty town in Indiana. Lived close to my brother. I miss them so much. We did not live close to our kids though. My youngest was still home, but just get it real thin. And then you're ready to cut it. Okay, you want to make sure that your chicken broth, I'll get it. Chicken broth is getting hot because you want it boiling before you put your dumplings in. I use like a spatula or something to slip up under my dumplings, and I also cut it with the edge. Just like that. I don't need a bunch of dumplings because it looks like it's just going to be me and my husband. He's out in the shop working. I should have showed you what he was working on. I should have filmed it. He's got a cool project going on, but I will film it next time. Next time he starts one, I will film it because it is really neat. He's making some projects for Christmas. He's a carpenter, so he can make some pretty cool stuff. So I'll show you next time he starts one. All right, let's look at this dumpling. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna, let's start here. We're just gonna cut it. I have rock countertops, so it's virtually impossible to hurt them. But I don't know what you're cutting yours on. And I just cut it about an inch, maybe a little over an inch thick. Just make long lines. You cut it however you want to. It's your dumplings. Then you go across. Cut them. They can be square, rectangular. Doesn't matter. Can't mess up the cut. All right, as soon as my chicken broth gets hot, I will get you back. Y'all, my chicken broth, I don't add a lot of salt to it. You don't have to add a lot of salt if you add the soup and the store-bought chicken broth. But if you, you'll need to add some pepper. I always add some pepper to mine. Yeah, mix it up in there because that kind of gives it a lot of flavor. Anyway, add some pepper to it. It's just about to the point where I can put the dumplings. Not quite. Okay, my chicken broth is just starting to boil, so I'm going to add these dumplings. You want a little bit of flour on your dumplings, and normally you would have it. But some of my dumplings were kind of wet on the bottom, so I put a little flour on just a little platter thing, and I'm just set them in the flour. But I'm gonna stick them in here. The flour helps to thicken your broth too. So, yeah, flour on them. They're just real thin little dumplings. This is so easy to do, and it is a cheap meal because you buy the cheapest package of chicken, just about, and then you the dumplings. It's flour and lard, so not much to it. keep dropping them in the boiling broth. Some people like their dumplings puffed up, and if you are one of them, use the self-rising flour, and that'll help them puff up. We like ours kind of flat, so I don't use the self-rising flour. This feeds a lot of people, and it's cheap, and it's good. Everybody loves chicken and dumplings. This is the last of them. Turn down the heat just a little bit so it doesn't boil over. It's Sunday today. It's pretty outside. It's in the 70s here in Arkansas. It's a beautiful fall day. Just stir them around a little bit. You just don't want them stuck on the bottom. You can add your chicken back in there now that they're cooking. Here, just sucking, I will. Just takes a few minutes for them to cook. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna clean up over here, clean up my mess. But I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, these have been boiling maybe 5-6 minutes. I cleaned up the kitchen. I added my chicken back to it. And the way you can tell if they're done is you just take one out. And taste it. Beware, they're hot. Yeah. You can tell if they need more salt. I think they taste pretty good. They're real good. I like them when they're just a little bit chewy. It means they're done in the middle. They're not falling apart. And then I'm gonna turn them off and I'm gonna set them back here and let them cool down for a minute. But try some chicken and dumplings. I hope you like them. We love them. I don't make them near often enough, but get you a sink full of soapy water when you're doing it, so you can clean your mess up as you go. Those boiled about 6 minutes, and look, my mess is cleaned up. So yeah, all I have to do is the bowls. I just serve them in a bowl, and that's all we have with it. If they want something else, I can fix it. But y'all have a good day, enjoy the weekend, and God bless you. My glasses make a glare on the screen. I got you propped up in the kitchen window, so I'm squatting down. But these are my dumplings. They turned out good, y'all. I let them cool down just a little bit. Went and worked with Rick outside at the shop, but I'm gonna taste them. Exactly like we like them. A little chewy, thin, dense. They're good. Perfect amount of salt and pepper. Lots of chicken. They're good. Make y'all some. You won't regret it.